Okay, good morning and welcome to Yeshiva YouTube. Iyun Benzion. Today's daf is the Nedarim daf Yud Beis. The Gemara on the bottom of Yud Aleph and Beis starts a discussion whether we say Bikaro kamatvis or Bahashta kamatvis. Are you when you compare something to a korban, right? Let's say the korban has a time where it's aser and a time where it's mutter. For example, after Zrikas Damim, so you have a piece of basar shlamim. After Zrikas Damim, it's mutter, right? It's mutter for people to eat. Anyone could eat it. Even Israel could eat it. So it's after Zrikas Damim, but you just compared a bottle of wine, I don't know, a toy, a piece of bread to this basar Zrikas Shlam. Do we say that when he's matfis the original shlamim before the Zrikas Damim, where it was a korban, or to now where it's mutter? So hashta or heter, we'll talk more about that tomorrow. Hashta or heter interchangeably used. Which one do we assume it is? So the Gemara tries to bring a proof from our Mishnah on Yidam and Beis. The Gemara says no sar of pickle. If you compare a piece of bread to no sar of pickle, so it has a din of a neder. So the top of Yud Beis Manal says no sar of pickle achar zrikas dam. No sar of pickle. What's the status? Obviously, no sar of pickle after zrikas dam. No sar is where you through the blood, and now it's mutter to eat for a day or a day and a half in certain korbanos. And now the time has passed. The time allotted for eating the korban has passed. It becomes nosar. There's an isser in the Torah to eat nosar. Now, nosar is an isser in the Torah. It's like eating pig. It's no longer hektish, right? We're talking about shlamim, presumably. So it's mutter. The Gemara answers, we're talking about ola, but at this point we're talking about shlamim and the havimina. So it could be eaten over here. So it's seemingly a proof. Achaz rikas dam. So it must be karo kamat, as we're talking about before. Even though now it's achas rikas dam, it's technically mutter. It's only davar aser, and davar aser doesn't create a neder. Only davar neder creates a neder, as we'll learn later on. Still, bikara kamat is one of his hektish, therefore it's a neder. The Rishonim asks, what about pigul? Pigul shouldn't be mentioned over here because pigul. What is pigul? Pigul is my shechli animal. I have kavana to eat the animal chutzim komo chutzim zmano outside the prescribed area for eating it, prescribed time for eating it. I have in mind to do that either by the shechita or by the zrikas damim. It renders it pigul, meaning seemingly, according to the Rishonim, it never loses its status of hektish. It's always hektish. So even after zrikas damim, it remains hektish. So it's not relevant to the question. You can't bring a proof from pigul because whether it's before zrikas damim or after zrikas damim, it's still a davar hanadar. So it can't resolve our question. Be karakamatvis or hashtagamatvis. So they say that the Ran says that pigul here is mentioned agavorcha. It's mentioned coincidentally. It's right next to the word nosar, but really pigul should not be in our gemaras. It didn't mean to bring the proof from pigul, only from nosar. I'd like to suggest a different answer to the question. I'm not a baki in Seder Kachim, but I can see this being a discussion by pigul. Maybe there is a side to say that pigul, after Zrikas Damim, would be materit from the state of hektish, meaning pigul, even after Zrikas Damim, it remains aser, but not by the force of hektish. So it seems to imply from the Gemara, it remains aser. Because the isser of eating pigul is an isser in the Torah. That you can't eat pigul? Why does it say pigul, right? It should just say you can't eat hektish. If it didn't change after the zrikas dam, the status didn't change, then it should just be don't eat hektish. Why need a special isser that you can't eat pigul? You can't eat pigul. It says in the Torah, Parsha Kedoshim, so you can't eat pigul. A mitzvah parsha says pigul you can't eat. So why does it say? Obviously, pigul is like nosar that really achas zrikas dam. It does matter the status of hektish. It's not meila. We'll talk about maybe in Seder Kachim whether it's meila or not. But at least in a certain respect, pigul becomes a davar ha'aser and not davar hanadar. So maybe that's what the Gemara is saying over here, that pigul, and it becomes a aser. It never became mutter, but the isser right after the zrikas damim changed from hektish, davar hanadar, to davar ha'aser, like pig or something like that, and that's davar ha'aser, and therefore a davar ha'aser is considered, wouldn't make something a neder. It's bahashta kamatvis after zrikas damim, so then it would be mutter, and since pigul is right next to nosar is definitely after zrikas damim, so pigul, presumably, the Mishnah was talking about achas zrikas damim, where it's no longer hektish, it's only aser, and therefore it could be a raya to our proof that would say, bikara kamatvis, not bahashta kamatvis, therefore you could be goris pigul. That's the resolution to this question. Obviously, we have to learn to say our kudshim, which we won't do for a couple of years, but we might discuss it in other places, but that's just a tip of the iceberg in Seder Kachim, the nature of pigul. Hope you enjoyed today's share. See you on the next one.